Swing Low, Sweet Chariot is an African American spiritual. It is also referred to as a Negro folk song. It was a popular song sung throughout the South by slaves while they worked and during their occasional times of rest and prayer. The lyrical imagery and follow a slow, deep melody. They express the desire for a release from bondage and a return to home. Even now, the song is performed by gospel singers throughout the world. Let's see the summary of the poem. The first stanza consists of two repeated lines that introduce the main image of the poem, a chariot that descends from the sky to carry the speaker home. For some singers and listeners, the chariot may represent the path to freedom. For others, it could symbolize a chariot of the Lord offering transportation for the soul to heaven. This interpretation has its origin in the Bible, which contains descriptions of chariots used in war as well as to transport honored souls such as the prophet Elijah's to heaven. Since the chariot in this song is sweet, it suggests a conveyance to heaven more than to battle in war. Psalm 68 of the Bible depicts God as having thousands of chariots, a sign of his power. The chorus is meant to be sung by a group, whereas the first and third lines of each stanza are intended to be sung by the spiritual leader. In the second stanza, the lead voice sings about a group of angels coming from Jordan, the river that flows from the Sea of Galilee through the biblical Holy Land. According to the Bible, a group of Israelites crossed the Jordan River in their quest for the promised land. The Jordan is also significant because the Bible indicates that it is the river in which John the Baptist baptized Jesus Christ. And just as the Egyptian slaves had a river to cross in their journey, African slaves who escaped often did so by crossing the Ohio North where slavery was illegal. The word band suggests strength, as in the expression to band together, meaning to join forces. Band also implies an unbreakable union in the image of a circular construction, a hoop like form. Lastly, band calls up images of music from the definition of an ensemble of musicians. In the Bible, angels deliver messages for God. They assist, protect, and deliver those faithful to the Lord. This stanza evokes the idea deliverance and acceptance by the Lord, a theme taught in the Bible and one that the American slaves personalized in their desire for freedom. In addition to the imagery, this stanza, like the chorus, uses alliteration. In the final stanza, the singers express an optimistic determination to reach home, the land of literal or spiritual freedom. It tells the audience that should they be liberated first, they should tell the singer's friends that he or she will join them too. The suggestion that the singer will join his or her friends works in both the metaphorical and spiritual interpretation of the song. If the listener thinks of the song as an expression of hope for liberation from slavery, then the friends would be those slaves who have already escaped. If the song expresses the slaves' wish to enter heaven, then the friends would be those whose slaves have already ascended. Wherever the destination, the song succeeds in conveying an unwavering hope that the singers will successfully join their friends. The frequency of the chorus, sung every third and last line in each stanza, has the effect of affirming this promise that the chariot will indeed carry its singers home. The figure of God riding across the sky in a chariot goes back to Greek mythology, in which Apollo was said to ride the sun as a chariot over the earth during the daylight hours. It is an image of heaven's magnificence, combining the chariot which symbolized the wealth and power enjoyed by a king with the superhuman power of flight. The heavenly chariot can also present trouble for mankind, as in ancient images of Zeus, king of the Greek gods, driving his chariot with one hand and hurling thunderbolts at the earth with the other. In this poem, the chariot is welcome. The speaker specifies that it is coming to carry him or her home. We are shown the Christian belief that heaven is one's natural home and that life on this earth is just a temporary displacement. The belief is always particularly strong among oppressed people such as slaves. In the South, slaves were told by the law that this was not their home but the home of their owners, that even people born in America had no home of their own on earth. Religious belief is a natural reaction for people who are powerless to fight against their oppressors. In some ways, this is seen as a negative thing because it keeps people from fighting for their rights. But the benefit is that it makes an intolerable situation tolerable. Often in Negro spirituals and folklore, blacks are portrayed as God's chosen people and are thus identified with Israelites of the Old Testament who also were kept in slavery, watched over by God, and finally led to freedom. The poem is not just about liberation of an individual person, but of an entire people who are referred to with the personal pronoun I. The first indication of this is that the line coming for to carry me home is repeated, just like the repeated lines in the call and response structure of work songs, in which the group sings the refrain together. Also, the fact that the written form of the poem has retained the dialect of the 19th century Southern Negro indicates that this piece is meant to capture the feelings of an entire culture. Finally, the last stanza's emphasis on the speaker meeting his or her friends when arriving home tells that the freedom being sung of will not just be for an individual but for everyone.